Everyone is obsessed with getting more traffic to their business because they think that more eyeballs on their content equals more money. And that's true to some extent, just as long as you can turn those views into leads and then sales. Because while people watching, reading, subbing to your channel, or responding to DMs are great, it's only by collecting the email that you can market to your audience for years to come. Seriously, email is literally the most profitable marketing channel you can use because everyone has it. You don't sign up for a utility bill via Instagram, right? No, of course not. You do it via email. The problem, though, is that even the people who know this are still facing a 98% invisibility tax, because on average, only 2% of your audience will convert into an email subscriber, while 98% leave and do nothing and just forget you exist. That means for every 1,000 views that you get, you might only get just 20 leads, and that sucks ass. So let's fix it. In this video, I'm going to share my full course for how I get anywhere from 15 to 83% of my blog readers to convert into a lead. Why does this matter? Well, if you're only getting a 2% conversion rate right now, but you apply this and only see the same results as my lowest performing opt-in, well then you'll see a 7.5 times increase in your leads and then your sales, which is not bad, right? What's even crazier though, is if you don't fix this but want the same impact, you'd have to increase your traffic by 650%. So trust me when I say that this is a lot easier to achieve. Better still, this technique works for pretty much any marketing channel. It works even when you have low traffic because the conversion rate is so high. And if you use this with content marketing, you can even add it into old content that gets organic traffic and see leads come in from old posts that don't really do anything for you at the moment. No joke, but I told a client how to do this who was stuck at 3,000 subscribers for around about a year. 2 months later, he hit 10,000 email subs, all on a fairly low traffic blog with the exact same content and traffic. It's seriously the ultimate hack if you're a solopreneur or a small business, or you work in a niche market. For example, I've got another client who sells 6-figure marketing campaigns to custom boat building companies. Now, as you can imagine, his audience is fairly small and it always will be. There's not a whole bunch of people building these things. Normally, when he would write an article to get leads, he might get 2 or 3 over the course of a month. But when he tried this out, he got 6 leads in the first hour of publishing. So if it can work for him, this can work for you too. I normally charge $200 for this course that I'm about to share, so all I ask is that you subscribe to say thanks, but mainly so you don't miss out on any other courses and content that I've got coming out soon. Oh, and as a quick side note, one of the sticking points for getting started with this method is coming up with the best HSO offer for your content. Don't worry about what that means just yet. All you need to know is I built an AI prompt to help you come up with this idea for free. You can grab it via the link in the description below. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump across into the course content now, and you can have a laugh at me back when I had bleach blonde hair.
Welcome and thanks for joining Hyper-Specific Offers. This course is the exact same technique that I used to turn blog readers into subscribers. And trust me when I say you've never seen conversion rates like this before. No joke, but this one technique can outperform almost any other lead capture method. For example, most websites convert around 2% of their viewers into subscribers, which sucks because that means for every 100 visitors, they only get 2 email subscribers. The average opt-in rate that I've seen personally for hyper-specific offers is anywhere from 15 to as high as 83%. That means at one point, one of my articles was getting 83 subscribers for every 100 readers. That's crazy, right? I'm super excited for you to give this a try and see how it can impact your business. So let's get into how this works. At its core, lead capture is all about giving value. You offer something that your audience wants, and they give you their email in exchange for it. The key thing to understand is that the more that someone wants the thing that you're offering them, the more likely they are to opt in. However, the problem with most lead capture methods is the offer is not always relevant to the audience at that point in time, so they don't want what you're offering. For example, here you can see a generic opt-in form to join my email list that I have on my homepage. The value I'm offering is that I'll send them more of my blog content and articles and guides. So why does this offer have a low opt-in rate? Simply because, like I said, it's not the right offer for everyone at that moment in time. For people who've already read my content and got value from it, this is an easy choice because they want more of my articles. But for the majority of people, this is their first time visiting my site and they haven't read anything yet, so they're not interested. They see this and they couldn't really care less because there's no value in it for them. Does that make sense? Hyper-specific offers work so well because they give the person what they want at the exact right time. So let's imagine that we have an article on how to lose weight for men over 40. In that guide, we talk about diet and supplements and nutrition, But we also say that the most effective way to lose weight fast is to lift weights. And so then we share all these different exercise methods that help with weight loss and building different physiques. So why does this matter? Well, 2 reasons. Number 1, the only people reading this article are the people who are interested in the topic. That means they're already a warm audience when they arrive on the blog. Number 2, by the time they finish reading, they're probably feeling pretty motivated to take some kind of action. I'd even argue that they're now a hot audience. The problem, of course, is that most articles and most websites don't help beyond this point, and that's crazy because right now you have a person that wants to take an action, but we're leaving them to figure it out on their own. But what if we give them an action to take? That's what a hyper-specific offer is. It's a bonus that's unique to a single article. It's also designed to help the audience take the next logical step that they want to take. Right audience, right offer, at the right time. For example, the reader of that article is probably thinking, I didn't realize how big an impact weightlifting would be on my weight loss. I should probably create a workout plan and try them out. Knowing that this is the action they want to take, we can then create a bonus that helps them do this. It doesn't need to be anything huge either. In fact, the more relevant and smaller the bonus is, the better, because then it's less overwhelming and the reader is more likely to grab it. With this article, we could just offer them a single-page PDF with exercises for each day of the week. Monday, bench press times 10, deadlift times 10, forward row times 10, Tuesday, so on and so on. It would only take 5 minutes to design this, but because we have a very warm audience who wants to take action, and we give them the action they want to take, the conversion rates are crazy. It's kind of like wanting to watch the next episode of a show on Netflix. You enjoyed the first episode, they teased things that were coming up in the second, so now you want to hit that button and watch it, and before you know it, you're 10 seasons deep and you're a raving fan. Same thing here. They want to lose weight, they read the article, they want a workout plan, so we give them one. Simple. The thing is, we can take this further and get even higher opt-in rates if we use some sneaky psychology with how we set this up. So here's the deal. People don't like filling in forms. In fact, studies have shown that for each piece of information you ask for upfront, people are 10% less likely to fill out the opt-in form and subscribe. However, they do like finishing what they start, so we can use this to our advantage. How? Well, rather than having an opt-in form for our bonus that's visible on the page, we use a hero shot image instead, like we did with the buff guy before. Only after the reader clicks on the image, the opt-in form now appear on the screen. But because they want to finish what they started, they'll now carry on and give us their email. Smart, right? So when we combine all of this together, we have a targeted warm audience with an offer that they want, less resistance to click, and more likely to fill out the form and subscribe. This is the power of hyper-specific offers. They can completely change the performance of your content and help even small blogs succeed. So, it's time to get started. Don't worry if this seems complex, because I'm going to walk you through how to do all of this from start to finish in super short, actionable lessons. It's actually all fairly simple. However, the best way to learn is by taking action, which is why I recommend that you create your own hyper-specific offer as we go through the lessons. That way you'll not only learn more efficiently, because you'll be doing, but you'll also be building as you go, so that by the end of the course you can start collecting more leads. So go ahead and click the continue button below and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is choose an article on your own blog that you want to create a hyper-specific offer for. That's right, for your first time doing this, I recommend you use an old article first and not write anything new. Why? Well, for 2 reasons. A new article would mean extra steps because you've got to write something new and that would slow you down. While an old article should already be getting traffic, which means you can test this out and start seeing leads faster. Makes sense, right? Easy wins are where the money is. Heck, if you've got a few articles like this that drive most of your traffic, I recommend making hyper-specific offers for all of them before writing anything new. For example, I had one student do this and he jumped from 3,000 subscribers to around 10,000 subscribers in under 4 months, simply by optimizing content he already had that was already getting visitors. That's a 234% increase in leads, all with pretty much the same traffic. So to do now, go ahead and pick an article that you want to try this on. I recommend any kind of tutorial or guide, as they're the easiest to create hyper-specific offers for. This is because the reader often wants to do something after reading the guide, so your bonus can help them in some way. If you already have an idea of an article that would fit this, click continue at the bottom of this page and jump to the next lesson. But if you're not sure which article to choose, well, the easiest way is to check your Google Analytics to find out which articles already have traffic and then pick one of those. So if you're not sure how to do that, you head across to Google Analytics and then you're going to click on Reports. This will open up a new menu. Then you're going to click on Engagement and then on Landing Page. This report will show you all of the pages on your website. However, we just want to narrow it down to just your blog articles. So assuming your website follows the site name /blog /article name structure that most websites use, go ahead and write /blog in the filter section. This will then filter to only show URLs that have blog in them, so only blog pages. You can then click on the traffic tab and sort the list by the blog pages with the highest traffic to the lowest. You'll notice this also brings up the blog page itself, but you can just ignore that. Go down the list from highest traffic to lowest and pick the first option that's some kind of tutorial or guide. For example, here I can see that my article on how to test Facebook ads gets a lot of traffic and it's a tutorial, so it would be a good option to use. This particular article already has a hyper-specific offer, so I'll be using a different one for our example in the course, but just so you get the idea. Simply pick a blog post that already has traffic and then click continue below. Now that you've picked your article, you need to come up with an idea for your hyper-specific offer that will go with it. So start off by opening up the article and give it a quick read through. This will help you get into the mind of your reader and figure out what might make a good bonus. Once you finish reading, ask yourself the following 3 questions. What was my reader thinking before they searched for this article? What are they thinking now as they read it? And what is the next logical step that my readers want to take after reading this? The goal is to try and think what they want to do next so that we can give them that bonus that ties into that goal. For example, I have an article on my blog that teaches people how to figure out how much traffic they're getting from AI search tools. It doesn't have a hyper-specific offer yet, so let's go through the 3 questions to figure out what I could make for it. So what do I think the reader was thinking before they found it? Well, they want to see if AI search is sending them traffic to their website, and they're not sure if it's possible or how to track it. What are they thinking as they read? Wow, this works. It's exactly what I need, and it's way cheaper than paying for tools to do this. In fact, it's free. So what do they want to do next? Well, they want to set it up. However, it's a little complex, so some of the readers might be worried about doing it correctly. So how can I help them? What could my bonus be? Well, I could make a 2 to 3 minute quick screen capture video showing them how to quickly set this up and then offer that as my hyper-specific offer. Super simple. So to do now, go ahead and read your article and then ask those same questions for yourself. Then come up with a bonus idea that fits. However, try to keep the bonus idea small so it's easy for you to make and it's also easy for them to say yes to. If you're stuck trying to figure out what to create, you can always ask ChatGPT for some ideas as well using the following prompt. All you need to do is copy and paste the prompt, it's in purple text below this video, along with your article below it so ChatGPT can analyze it. Delete the line where it tells you to. Take a look at what ChatGPT recommends, and then pick one of the options or ask it for a few more if they all suck. For example, here you can see what it recommended for me as options for my AI traffic article. How good are these? It even has the example I thought of making, and I can improve on it further by offering the updated script also, so the users could copy and paste it. I looked at the third option, wasn't really any good, but you get the idea. So now it's your turn. Read your article that you want to make a hyper-specific offer for, ask yourself those 3 questions, try to come up with ideas, and if you're really stuck, check with ChatGPT to see if it has any others, only after you've done the other steps though. Then, once you've decided on an option, click continue below for the next step. Alright, so now that you've decided on your hyper-specific offer, it's time to quickly make it. The most common ones are a document or a checklist of some kind, a screen capture video, or a selfie video of something simple shot on your phone. Don't freak out if you're not some kind of design or camera wizard. Honestly, these can be really basic and still work because the reader only cares if it helps them do the thing that they want. They don't really care about the quality. So let's walk through how to make these for yourself. So option 1, how to create basic PDFs, checklists, bonus documents. I like to make these in a tool called Canva, as you can pick a template and then drag and drop and tweak the design. It's free to use, but you may be charged if you use any custom images. You'll see a small crown on any of them that have a licensing fee, but it's very cheap. Even better, you can get a monthly account with unlimited use for around $20 that'll save you a fortune in the long run. Anyways, once you have the Canva website open, it's really easy. You click on the top menu and select File and then New. Then you can search for documents and select from any of the document template options. You could also just make your own design from a blank document if you wanted, but for the first time using it, I recommend choosing one of their templates and then cutting out and editing it however you want. It's super simple and intuitive to use. You can select and change coloring, select and change fonts, add elements and images from the options in the sidebar. You can upload your own images or brand shots. Like I say, super simple. If you want it to look good, and I recommend using no more than 3 colors, and keep the fonts all the same. If you do that, it's going to look semi-decent. For example, here you can see a hyper-specific offer document where I simply use my website colors to help it stand out. It's nothing beautiful, but it converts, and that's all it needs to be. Then once you've done making it, just click download and then save as a PDF so you have it ready to use later. Option 2, how to create screen capture video bonuses. These are actually really easy to make. All you need is the software to record your screen and a microphone to talk into. If you're on a laptop that has a webcam built into it, then you already have a microphone built into your laptop. You'll know if you've ever done a Zoom call or anything. If you don't have a mic, then anything by Elgato is a good option. It's the mic I'm using right here. They're a little bit more expensive than things you would just get off the shelf. However, it's worth getting these if you're going to do a lot of these videos. The reason I say that is that people will happily watch semi-blurry footage, but they'll not put up with low quality sound. So grab one of these if you don't have a mic yet. As for recording, you can use any screen capture software that you want. Macs have this built in. However, I use some free software called OBS. It works for a PC, Mac, or Linux. So assuming you're going to use this one also, let me walk you quickly through how to use it. All you need to do is click on the link below, download and install it, and then open it up. Next, we just need to make sure we can record our screen. So go ahead and click on the plus symbol in the sources section. A pop-up menu will appear that will allow you to add new sources to record from. If you added a webcam at some point, you could select that here also. For now though, we just want to record our screen, so go ahead and select Window Capture. It will then show up as an option in the source box. However, the main screen might still be dark. This is because you need to turn the source on. So go ahead and click on the little eyeball icon next to it, and the main window will now show your screen and whatever you have open in your web browser. Simple, right? All you have to do now is click on the Start Recording button on the right hand side and it will start to record your screen. Then you can tab back across to whatever page you have open, start chatting away into your microphone and creating the bonus. Then you can simply press the button again to stop recording. Once you're done, you can then find the recordings in the File menu in the top under Show Recordings. So, a few tips on recording videos first. Before you record the whole thing, do a quick test of the equipment. So hit record and start talking and look around the screen. Basically, you pretend you're recording the first 10 seconds of your video so you can see it all works. Then hit stop, open it up and press play and see if it's working. Did it record properly? Did it record the right screen? Was the audio recorded? Is the audio loud enough? Check your speaker volume first, but if it's still quiet, you may need to move your mic closer or adjust it in the settings. Once you've got it all locked in and you know that it works, you can then record your video properly. So option 3, how to create video bonuses with you in the shot. So these are the easiest videos to make because it's just a selfie. You've probably done thousands of these before in your lifetime. All you need to do is turn on your phone camera and, hit record. A few key things though, very similar to when you're recording screen videos. Make sure that you're in shot if you're standing away from the phone. Make sure that the person can hear you talking. If you're going to do a lot of these, look into getting like a lapel mic. Just fits here. It can plug into your phone also. There's a company called Rode that do some good options, but any brand is fine. I'd also recommend a tripod so you can set it up easy and keep it level and in shot. Just like with the screen capture videos, do a quick trial run of the recording first to make sure everything is working before you record the whole thing. You'll never know if the audio is bad or out of focus until you do a trial run. If it's all working with the test, hit record and do the whole thing properly. Then watch the video, make sure it's okay. If it is, save a copy and send it to your own email to use later. Simple. So to do now, like I said before, these bonuses really don't have to be that fancy because your audience doesn't really care that much. All they really care about is that it helps them. So some minor design tweaks and a little effort is all you need. So spend a maximum of 20 minutes making these and then click continue below. So now that you have your hyper-specific offer made, we need to set it up so that your audience can get it after they opt in. However, rather than just sending the bonus to them in an email, we're going to do this by creating a bonus page on your website, which will contain whatever we've created. We'll then send them an email with a link to that page. So it seems like an extra step, and it is. So why use a bonus page? Well, there's a few reasons. You can design the page so it looks good if you want to and make a good impression. A bonus page keeps the subscriber on your site. It sends them back to your site instead of sending them to another platform like YouTube where they can get distracted. You can also use this page to track conversions if you run paid traffic later. Fun fact, I used to run paid ads to articles that had hyper-specific offers in, and because of the conversion rate, I would spend $1 on ads and make $22 on the back end. That's the power of content promotion when the content converts and you've got email sequences in place. So let's get this set up. Go ahead and create a new page, not a post, on your website. This is important because we want to keep this page secret so that the only people who find it are the people who opt into our bonus. The issue, though, is that most website platforms will automatically pull new posts onto their blog. Obviously, we don't want that to happen as this new page is only for our hyper-specific offer subscribers. So make sure you select new page and not new post. Then once the new page opens up, go ahead and give it a name. I usually use something similar to the article so I know which article this bonus page is related to, but you can call it whatever you want. Just be aware that whatever you call it is usually what the URL sets to, so make sure to change that if you want to later because the audience will see that URL. Then you want to set the page to no index. By doing this, it tells Google not to index it in their search results, so it won't show up if people search for the bonus without opting in. There's usually a setting for this on the page settings in the sidebar or below. Once you've done that, it's time to start designing the page. Page design doesn't need to be too fancy again. We just need a headline, some text, and then either a link to the download or have the video embedded. For example, here's the finished version of my download page for this bonus. Let's walk through what you need to do to set this up. For the headline, I usually just say something like X article bonus page. This way they know they're in the right place when they land on it from after the email later on. Then below that, I add text to let them know that they're in the right place again, and I'll remind them of their bonus and how to get it. Once you've done that, we need to add the actual bonuses to the page. So how we add these will vary depending on the type of bonus that you've created. If you want to add document bonuses like PDFs and things, what you need to do is you open up your website's media file in a new tab, keeping your bonus page still open. Go ahead and upload your hyper-specific offer bonus document. Once it's uploaded, go ahead and click on edit. Just like with the page, we want to set the document to no index also so that it doesn't get added by Google. There's usually an option to either no index or exclude it from the sitemap. Once you've done that, keep the media page open and click back across to the other tab that has your bonus page. Then you need to write a simple call to action like click here to download your whatever it is bonus. Then head back across to your media file, find the URL section, and right click and copy it. Then head back to the bonus page, highlight the text you just wrote, and then paste the URL for your media file as a hyperlink. What this will do is once the page is live, people can then click on this text and the document will automatically start to download to their device. As for bonus videos, we want to embed them on our page so that people can watch them there and not go elsewhere and get distracted. However, we don't want to upload them to our media folder like we just did for the document. This is because videos are much bigger files and storing them here will take up a lot of bandwidth and slow down your website, especially if you have a lot of people clicking on it and it's stored in that media folder. So instead, we want to upload our video to a third-party video hosting site and then copy their embed code back onto our page. You can use paid options for this like Wistia or Vimeo if you want. The benefits of these is that at the end of the video, it won't link to anything else. Honestly though, you can just set up a YouTube channel if you don't have one, upload the video, and then set your new video to private. This way people can't find the video on YouTube without the link, and you can then grab the embed code and then insert it into your bonus page. Then once it's live, your viewers can click on it and watch it like normal inside of that page only. So once you've added your bonuses, go ahead and publish a page and then check the live version all works. Does the page load up? Does it look okay? Do the bonuses work? Do videos play? Do documents download to your computer or phone when clicked? Has the URL been uploaded to your blog or anything by accident? Has the page been uploaded by accident? If so, remove it and set it to the right one. If all of that works, then congratulations. Make a note of the URL for that page as you'll be using it in a second, and then hit continue below. Now that we have our bonus page set up, we need to create an email automation so that we can send this to people when they opt in. So what email tool should you use? You should be able to use any email automation software you want for this. I use a platform called Kit. It used to be called ConvertKit, but again, it should work for any platform. If you don't have an email automation software yet, or you struggle to set this up with your current toolkit, I highly recommend checking Kit out. Not only is it a great platform with features that most platforms don't have, but it's actually free for your first 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. You will need a paid plan if you start to use more features and things, but even then, it's just $25 a month to start with. What's cool though is your first automation is included in that free plan. So you could set up your first hyper-specific offer with them if you want, with no cost, and scale up to 10,000 subscribers. So with that out of the way, let's get into the steps. There is a few things to do here. First thing you want to do is create an opt-in form. So go ahead and open up Kit and log in. And from the top menu, you want to click on Automate, then click on Visual Automations, and then click on the black New Automation button. This will load up a new page. Look for the option called Empty Automation, and then click on the Start from Scratch button so that we can customize this setup. Start off by giving your new automation a name. I like to use something that helps me identify which hyper-specific offer bonus this is for. Once you've done that, click on the Start Building button. A new page will load up that gives you some options for how this automation should be triggered, i.e. what needs to happen for this new email sequence to start sending. In this case, we're going to click on Joins a Form. This will then load up some more options. We don't have a form made yet, so we're going to click on Create a New Form or Landing Page. Go ahead and select Modal. Then it'll give us some opt-in form templates. This is what appears when someone clicks on the image in your article. It's with the pop-up. Just choose the Mills option for now. This will then open up the form designer where you can customize the text and fonts and things like that. Don't worry about customizing it just yet. We'll come back to it later after we design your call to action image that fits in your blog post. This way we can make sure that they match better. For now, all you need to do is give it a name and then hit publish. The next step is to set up the email automation sequence. So once you hit publish, it'll then go back and open up the automation builder again. You can see that the form has been added. Now we need to add an email automation sequence that will send people an email when they opt in. So go ahead and click the plus icon below the form. This will then give us some options of what we want to happen. We want to choose action and then email sequence. Type in the box that appears and give your new email sequence a name, then click the blue version below it to confirm that name. Then click on the black Add Action button that shows up below this. This will then add the sequence to the automation. However, this is just a templated email right now, so go ahead and click on it to open up the email editor. So the first thing you need to change is the delivery window. So go ahead and click on the Send This Email button and then set it to 0 days. This will make it so that the email is sent to someone immediately after they opt in. Next, you need to write a subject line for your email. So this is what shows up in the person's email inbox. I always use something simple like, here is your X bonus. This way they can see which one is from you right away and they're going to click on it. Then we need to actually write the email itself. So I usually I say hi, I thank them for subscribing, I remind them of their bonuses, and then I tell them to click a link to go get them. And that link is to our bonus page that we made before, and then I sign off. And that's all you really need to do in terms of the email content itself. The most important thing is you add a link to that bonus page so they click across to it and get their bonus. However, there's just one more thing, and that's you need to make sure you hit the green publish button so the email is able to be sent. Once you've done that, we're finished with the email sequence for now. We'll come back and edit the form in just a second. Before then, we need to create our call to action image, so click continue below. So now we just need to design our call to action image that will go inside our article and get people to click and see the opt-in form. So here's one I made earlier for my AI traffic tracking bonus. Looks pretty good, right? The cool thing is these are actually really easy to make, so let's build one right now. In fact, I'll show you how I made this one. So start off by opening up Canva and then do a search for thumbnails. When we do this, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of YouTube thumbnail designs that you can customize and edit. You could also start from a blank 1920 by 780 template if you wanted to, but the thing about YouTube thumbnails is some of them are actually not far off in terms of design, so we can kind of use those as a good base. The main things for a good call to action image is just 4 things. We want some text calling out to the audience, their goal, and what the bonus is. We want a button for them to click on, just an image of one. We want a hero shot of some kind, either of the offer or something that connects with it, and then some background design so this stands out on your page. So if we scroll down, we'll actually see a few of these thumbnails that meet some of this criteria. For example, I could easily edit this one to fit, so let's do that. We're going to click Customize this template and then build from there. First off, I removed any elements that I wouldn't use and kept anything that I would edit or replace. With that done, I focus on the headline hook first. So I adjust the main text so that it calls out to what the audience wants as they are reading. This is what we figured out when we planned out our hyper-specific offer. By doing this and calling out to that, it immediately attracts them when they see it on their page. And then I'm going to adjust the background because the background is kind of mixing with the text and making it not fully readable. I want to keep the text large, so I'm going to adjust the background and just drag the purple across to the side, helping this text stand out more. I could also adjust the background colors to be more like my brand, but I actually won't do that. Why? Simply because we want this image to stand out when it's added to your article, and if the colors match too much, then it's going to blend into the background. It'll look good, it'll look part of the design, but it won't stand out as a pattern interrupt that immediately gets their attention. We need that so that they might click and not just think it's another image in the article. So once I've got the main hook headline, the subhead below that is basically just recapping the benefits of what they've got. If you think about it, this headline hook and the subhead, they kind of work together. It's kind of like, do you want this thing? Here's how you can get it with this bonus stuff. It's pretty simple. And then the button is where they can go to go get it. Speaking of the button, let's edit that next. So the larger the button, within reason, the better, so that it's clear that it's something to click on. As for the text itself that's on the button, I usually write something like, send me this now. I also like to give the button slightly rounded corners so it looks more like something that you can click on. It's important to have a button so that they realize that this is just not a screenshot, it's something they can interact with and get. So don't forget to add one of these if you use a different design or if you design from scratch on your own. So then I'm just going to tidy this up a bit. I'm going to edit the text above the headline hook and the text below the button. I could have deleted these, but instead I use the top one to call out that it's a bonus, because that's the first thing they're going to see as I scan down the page. And the bottom one, I just make it clear that it's an opt-in, I also tweaked the text sizes and layout a bit, made it a little bit larger to fill the space more with the headline hook. So finally, we just need to add a hero shot. This is the image that helps them connect the dots with what they're getting or what they want to achieve. For my hero shot, because it's a video, I grabbed a laptop from the elements section, dragged it on. Then I uploaded a screenshot of the video that I'd made, and I pasted that on top of the laptop so it looks like the video is playing on it. This helps them see that my bonus, is a video. It makes sense, they can see what they're getting. I could have also included an image of a graph that showed all the traffic on it instead. However, human faces help draw attention, as people are designed to find faces. We literally have an element in our brain that helps us find them. That's why people are using adverts so much, showing their face, looking out for the screen or looking towards a product, even if it's nothing to do with the product. The key thing though with these hero shots is to use something that helps them see what they want so that they can connect the dots between the text on the left and the image on the right. For example, if you had a fitness plan as your hyper-specific offer, then you could show someone with the ideal physique on the side. So they connect the dots between, I do this and I get this. Super simple. Finally, I went through and I added a little pop-out shadow on the computer and on the text, so it feels like it's jumping out of the screen a little bit more to help it stand out even more when people scan down the page. And that's it. That's all we have to do now is just click download as PNG and it's ready to be used. So to do now, go ahead and design your own call to action image. Make sure it has the main elements of the hook headline, the benefit subheads, the button, the hero shot, the background. Spend 10 minutes max making this. Once you've done that, click continue below. Alright, remember how we left the form as the placeholder earlier when we built the email automation? It's what pops up on the screen after someone clicks on your call to action image. Now that we have that image designed, we can go back into the form and edit it better to fit what we just designed. So head back to Kit now in your other tab and open up the form. Just click on it in the automation to open it up again if you don't have it. You can choose any other template to use if you want. Some of them will allow you to add images and things. Honestly though, I've never really noticed a difference in conversion rate when doing this rather than just using the basic text option. The really only important things to change are, make sure that the headline now is kind of similar to the hook headline that is in your image and what they want. Make sure the subhead matches the benefits again, the button matches the text, and we can edit the colors if we want to slightly to match the call to action image, and that's it. That's all we need to do. So to do now, go ahead and edit your own pop-up to better match the call to action you've just designed. Again, doesn't need to be anything too fancy. It just needs to help them see that this thing that appeared after they clicked is connected to that thing. It's not something totally different that's just appeared on the screen. Once you've done that, keep Kit open and click continue below. Alright, time to upload our new call to action image to our site and connect it to this pop-up form. This is going to seem a little complicated, but it's actually not that bad. Basically, we're going to upload the image, wrap it in some code, edit the code slightly, and then paste it onto the page. Honestly though, like I say, it's actually not that hard to do, so let's walk you through it. First thing we want to do is upload your call to action image to your website. So start off by opening up the media file section on your site and upload the new call to action image that you just created. Once it's uploaded, go ahead and grab the image's URL code. Usually there's a copy to clipboard option, so click that. Then copy and paste that URL into the Notepad app that you have on your computer. We'll be adding this into some other code in a second, so make sure you paste it there so we can edit it easily when we need it. Once you've done that, head back across to your form in Kit. It should still be open from the last lesson in another tab. If you have a look on the form dashboard, you'll see a settings button in the top right on the menu. Click on that and it'll load up the settings panel. Okay, so the first thing we want to change is the display option to exit intent. Basically what this means is if someone doesn't click the call to action image in our article and they go to close the article, the opt-in form will still show up first before that happens. It's not perfect, but we can get some more emails this way that we might have lost. After that, make sure all the other settings are the same as in the image here. Make sure that show a success message is highlighted. This way when they sign up, it'll let them know that it's worked. Make sure that this is set to all devices. This way your opt-in form won't be restricted to only certain devices. It'll show up on phones and everything. And then finally, with those settings still open, go ahead and grab the code under the trigger this modal with a link section. Click the button and copy that into your notepad. Also, you can see here in mine, I've actually added a quick header for each of them so I can see which is the image code, which is the copy code, and things like that. It doesn't really matter, this is just to help me see it on the page. One thing that is important to know is that this code is unique to each opt-in form. So in the future, when you're making a new hyper-specific offer, you always need to copy in the new code. You can't reuse an old one. So once you've done that, hit save on the settings in Kit. Then we just need to publish the form and activate the sequence. So hit those buttons in the top menu. This sequence is now live and will send the email when someone opts into that form. However, we still need to finish editing that code and connect it to the image so we can add the image into the article with the form. We're almost done. So now that we have both the image code in our notepad and the form code, we need to connect them together. To do this, we're going to use some custom code that I wrote. So go ahead and copy the code below this video into your notepad also. It'll look like this. So now in your notepad, you should have all three of these. You've got the image URL code, you've got the code from Kit, and you've got the custom code that I just gave you. All we're going to do is we're going to take those first two and pull parts of it and put it into the custom code. It's super easy to do, so don't worry. So the first thing we want to do is add the form kit ID to that custom code. So if you go onto the kit section, you'll see where it says your form ID in that code. We want to replace everything between those two commas with the form kit number that you've got from Kit. So this is a series of numbers and letters, and it kind of looks like this. To copy this across, simply double click on the form kit number, highlight it in blue, then click copy. Scroll down in your notepad a little bit, go to the form ID section, and then just paste that in so you can see what it looks like before and then what it looks like after. Easy, right? The main thing is just to make sure that it still has the single set of commas on either side. So that's the first part done. We've got the form kit ID. Now we just need to add the same thing for our image URL. So if you see in the custom code that I gave you, it'll say something image source equals your image URL.jpg. We need to swap out that text, everything between the commas, with your CTA image URL that you got from your website earlier. So that's the first piece of code in the notepad. All you're going to do is, again, is just copy that whole thing and then paste it in. So this is what it would look like before, and this is what it would look like after. And that's all there is to it. We've added those two parts to the custom code. Like I said, super simple. Now we just need to add this entirely finished custom code into our article wherever we want our call to action image to show up. So I recommend adding this image in 2 to 3 places. Always add it right after the introduction, so those that are skimming the post might opt in, they see it straight away. Then you want it just before the conclusion at the end. This way people who read all the way to the end have an action to take. These are the warmest people. If it's a really long guide, you can also add it a third time kind of midway through. As for the setup and adding this code into your post, it's going to vary depending on the platform that you use. Personally, I use a page builder inside of WordPress called Elementor where I can drag and drop elements. So I'll have a text block for the written part and the images of the article. However, because this is code, I'm going to drag an HTML block across where I want this call to action image. And then I'll continue and put the text post below that. Then all I'm going to do is just copy and paste the code in there, and you should start to see your call to action image appear on the page. Super simple, right? Then you go ahead and hit save on the article. However, there's just one more thing we need to do to make sure this works on all devices. It's super short and easy, and I'll cover it in the next lesson. So you might have noticed that when you click on your call to action image in your live page right now, the pop-up doesn't actually show. This is because most modern devices have privacy and tracker blocking software that messes with these. The good news is we can fix this in 2 seconds. All we need to do is add one more line of code into the header of our page for it to work. So how can we add it? Well, it's going to vary depending on what website platform you use and what features you have. If you're using WordPress, your theme might actually have the option to add it to specific pages only. Otherwise, you can download a header code plugin. Okay, so this is the plugin that I use on WordPress and I recommend completely for free, and it's always updated, so it's secure. All you're basically going to do is you're going to go to add plugins and search for header footer, and you're going to see this one here, header footer code manager by DraftPress. You're going to click install now and then activate it, and then you'll see it on the side over here where you can add snippets. Really cool thing about this one is you can add snippets to any different page all in one place. Once you're in there, you select add new snippet. You're going to give it a name. You're going to select JavaScript, then specific posts, because this code is unique. It needs to be on just the one article page where the pop-up is going to be. It won't work elsewhere, so we just want it on there, and we don't want it to mess up with other pages on our site when we've got multiple HSOs. So you go on and you can literally just click and find the article that you've got. Make sure it's set to header, show on all devices, active, and again make sure it's set to JavaScript. And then when we're in Kit, we get that code from the embed, JavaScript, copy, come over here, paste, and then hit save. And it's as easy as that. So all that's left to do now is hit publish and make sure that everything works in the next lesson. So click continue below for the final step. Okay, so at this point, we just need to make sure that everything's working. So your email automation should be activated, your call to action image should be inside the article, and the article should also be live. So go ahead and do the following checks. You're going to want to do this on desktop and on mobile. Open up the live page. First thing is, can you see the call to action image? Is it showing properly? Give it a click. Test the pop-up. Does it appear when you click on that image? Does it do it on both devices, desktop and mobile? Then, add your email to the opt-in form and subscribe. Do you get the success message appearing on the screen after you fill in the email? Check your email inbox. Did the email get sent to you? Did you set it to 0 days so that it comes immediately? Check the email link when it arrives. Does it open up the bonus page when you click on it? Check the bonus page. Is the bonus accessible? Does the download or video work? And that's it. If everything is working, then your first hyper-specific offer is now complete. So seriously, congratulations. You're now going to be able to collect far more emails from every blog post that you add this to.
So there you have it, my entire process for converting more of your audience into leads, regardless of your traffic size, because you're giving them exactly what they want, right when they want it. You can take that same principle and apply it to social media with ManyChat captures or with your videos and squeeze pages. For example, as I said at the beginning, I just wrote a brand new AI prompt to help you come up with your own hyper-specific offer ideas, which is probably exactly what you want right now, right? So make sure to grab it via the link in the description below and I'll send it to you right away. I honestly think you'll be amazed at just how much impact this can have on all of your content. In fact, I'm pretty sure that once you get this up and running and seeing just how much your content is converting traffic into leads, the next thing you're going to be thinking is, how can I get more content written so I can take advantage of this even more? Well, good news. You can watch this video next where I share my $400 AI content writing course completely for free. Not only does it allow me to write high quality content at a professional paid writer's level, but it cuts down my writing and editing time by 5.5 weeks per year, which is pretty damn good. So make sure to grab the prompt below, then go watch that video next.